Good morning. Last time we discussed about the definition of communication as it was posted in the LMS in our PowerPoint presentation. We define communication as a process of exchanging information from one another. Communication also involves interchange of thoughts or also information among persons in an organization or in a community in a systematic and continuous process of telling, listening, and understanding. So we will go on and continue with our lesson and discuss further about communication. So I've listened to some of your definition last time, and all of you have really the ideas, correct ideas actually, of what communication all about. So going further, so when we speak of communication, communication has a symbolic nature and is an act of sharing one's ideas, emotions, attitudes, or perceptions with another person or group of persons through words, written or spoken, gestures, signs, signals, or other mode of transmitting images. You mentioned last time that communication is about sharing ideas, your own perceptions. This time, from this definition, you could also communicate to other person making use of your emotions, showing your attitudes also, whether it could be in in an informal way. This will be gestures, or you may show signs also, or you could also express yourself verbally, or you may use the nonverbal forms of communication. So going further, let's discuss the process of communication. Actually, there are five elements that characterize communication. First, we have the sender, the one who delivers the message. Receiver, the one who received the message or the information that you would like to share. And this sender and receiver are called interactors, the recipients of the message. And then number two, we have the message, the content and the substance of information that you would like to share to other person. This is what we call message. Medium, the tool that you're going to use in order to deliver your message. Then feedback, of course, this will be the reaction of those people around you who listen to you or who listen from the message that you've sent them. And the last one is communication environment. So these are the five elements that characterize communication. So if you have questions, you could just write your questions in the chat box, and this will be answered later after our class. Next, this is now the process of communication. How the communication works, or the communication process works. As you can see, we have the five elements actually. We have the sender, the message, the receiver, the feedback, and all of them will be under inside the communication environment. So it's just a circle. Okay, so cycling. Okay, so if you have questions later on, I will be very much willing to answer them. Next, communication requires that interactors understand the meanings of their messages course through a medium to create some feedback or reaction between and among themselves in a given context. Okay? Make sure when you communicate to other people, make sure that they have understand the one that you would like to relate to them. Okay, that's very important. Okay, because if they were able to understand your message, meaning to say you are an effective communicator. Next, there are types of communication. Actually, there are two types of communication. One is what we call the verbal communication, wherein it refers to the form of communication in which message is transmitted verbally. Under the verbal communication, we have the oral. In oral communication, spoken words are used. It includes face to face in conversation, speech, telephonic conversation, the video, the radio, television, voice over the internet. Communication is influenced by volume, speed, and clarity of speaking. That's under verbal communication. So, under verbal, we have oral, and now we have the written. So under this, let's define. Verbal communication is done by words, mouth, or a piece of writing. Sometimes we could not express ourselves face to face to the person. So what do we do? Okay? We try to write our message, our feelings. So this will be under written communication. So in written communication, written signs or symbols are used to communicate. In written communication, message can be transmitted via email. This is very true right now, actually, especially to teenagers. Letters. I hope you are still making letters or writing letters to your loved ones, to your girlfriend, making reports, memos, and etc. Written communication is influenced by the vocabulary and grammar used, writing style, the precision and clarity of the language also is in use in written communication. Then next, what we have, no, the non-verbal communication. Under this, we have the body language, the haptics or the touch, the proxemics, the space distancing, the chronemics, the sign language, and the paralanguage. Of course, let's define body language. Body language is a type of a nonverbal communication in which physical behaviors, as opposed to words, are used to express or convey the information. Such behavior includes facial expressions, body posture, gesture, eye movement, touch, and the use of space. So, facial expression. Sometimes, if you're angry, you just raise your eyebrows and it shows. Okay? So, that's part of the body language and how we express our emotion. And also the eye contact and the gaze. Gesture also is part of the body language, our postures, and our personal appearance. Okay? So I hope you learned something about our lesson this morning. I will be sharing more of our lesson next time. I will be asking you to watch a video which I made, and I want you to critique the video about expressing oneself, making use of the verbal and the verbal communication. And next time, I will be asking you to record also yourself And how are you going to express yourself using the language? Okay? So good luck.